Hello and welcome to another weekly update, and if you're in the UK, I hope you're enjoying some of this fantastic weather we've been having. It's a good chance to get outside. I'm outside in the sun and it's glorious. The only thing I'm slightly worried about is I can't see any of my notes on my laptop because of the screen glare. I'm on the lookout for like some kind of monitor that's really good in the sun. I've been kind of thinking about buying a monitor just to use outside. I've got some patio space out here, we've got power, we've got good Wi-Fi here, and it feels like a good chance to do some work in the morning before it gets too hot in the sun, and maybe in the evening as well, but screen glare is a real issue. So if anyone's got any good tips on either monitors that are really good in like full sunlight, I have done some looking around. I found some sort of monitors that are designed for full sun, but they all seem to be for boats and things, and they're not very big. What I really want is like a monitor laptop that's great in full sun, but as yet not been able to find one. Anyway, I did a blog post this week, just last night actually, because some new information came out courtesy of the Office 365 roadmap, and that's about some new Teams features that we saw showed off and talked about at Build, but we're now seeing them come and go live. And actually that's pretty good because I think we're used to seeing things demoed at Build that aren't quite live yet, but actually the time to go from Build to live it seems to be coming down, which is really good news. And the thing that is coming is inline message translation in Teams. So in Teams you've got your messages. Coming soon will be the ability for people in a different language to write their messages in their native language, but then you to be able to see that translated in your language and vice versa. Really important, obviously, for worldwide collaboration between people in teams and between different teams, and it's come at a really good time for some of the other things I want to talk about actually. But anyway, it's on the roadmap, it's showing as in development, and it's showing with an estimated date of July, which starts as I'm recording this tomorrow. So I think that's true. I think it's the 30th of June today. I've no idea if June has 30 or 31 days, but it's either going to be tomorrow or Monday. Obviously it's a month long, so it could come at any time in that, and it is just an estimate, but it's good to see that it's coming, and it's a really good example of something that I've been saying for quite a long time, which is Microsoft taking the years of research they've put into AI and making it useful, making it applicable to everybody, and really democratizing AI, making it not just for kind of the elite few or the people that have all the money or the applications or the systems in the labs, making it something that everybody can use. And this is a good example of that. It's an example of Microsoft solving a real problem to make collaboration better. There's some other exciting things that were demoed at Build around this as well, including real-time voice translation and transcription, which we've seen some demos of. That's not this, but hopefully that's also coming soon as well. So that happened, that's good news. It'll be exciting to see that roll out to tenants over the next couple of months. It's going to be a very AI focused week this week, and I think that's interesting, and it also underlines, I think, a lot of where Microsoft are going at the moment. Microsoft are very AI focused at the moment. They see it as a very important part of the future for them. And I've picked out a couple of other blog posts from other sites that kind of that highlight that. The first is a blog post from the AI team, and it's just kind of highlighting a news story that Microsoft have done some work to improve facial recognition for everybody, and so specifically for make their facial recognition work better across different skins, different tones, and across all genders. So that's a really important part of democratization of AI. We've heard all these horror stories come out. I don't think Microsoft have been implicated. It's not tying to a particular company. It's just the way it happens, where this technology gets developed, but it gets developed by kind of middle-class white dudes, and it gets designed by middle-class white dudes, and it gets consumed by middle-class white dudes, and then actually it turns out it doesn't work anywhere else, so it's kind of a big fail getting it out into the real world. This is Microsoft saying actually, like, you know, it's important enough that AI works for everybody, and you don't want to have that kind of gap where some things work for some people and some don't, just because some kind of designer or developer didn't think about it at the time because they were, you know, ill-informed. So I think this is good. I think it's excellent. It's almost kind of a non-story, but it's a good story, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, this is good, but of course it should happen, you know. But you know, our industry being what it is, I think it's good to call these things out and say that actually this is happening and it is a good thing. So another story, also from the AI blog actually. So there's more intelligence coming to Bing around image search and around picking out things in images. So it's interesting. So it basically allows you to capture some of that information that's in images and search for it. So again, this is built using, you know, their cognitive services, you know, that all that stuff I keep talking about, that research they've done in AI. This is Microsoft finding actual practical applications of it, and I think more than anything else, that's the thing that stands out for me at the moment for Microsoft, is they're taking what they know about AI, which is probably much the same as what everybody else knows about AI, but the way they apply it, they're applying it to real practical usages for everybody that drives everybody forward, and that's a really good thing. And then there's an interesting article by Fast Company around another example of Microsoft taking what they know about AI and turning it into practical gain, and that's that they're using AI to make their data centers faster and more efficient and perform better, and in doing that they save themselves money. That makes them more competitive on their Azure side, and it's a virtuous circle. So that's a good, I thought it was an interesting article. It's worth reading if you care about Microsoft data centers and AI and stuff. But it's interesting. It's an interesting application of them using machine learning to make better decisions about how they run their data centers, and doing that makes them more competitive, and then everybody benefits. And finally is a story from CNBC around Microsoft doing some hiring for chip developers specifically for AI, and this is interesting on a number of levels. So at the moment, for AI, we mostly use GPUs. They seem to perform best at doing these very specific AI tasks. Google are making their own type of chip. I think Microsoft are making their own type of chip as well, and this is some of that effort. This is one of those stories that comes out of people mining through like LinkedIn profiles and job specs and job titles and things to try and work out what's going on more than anything else. But it's interesting to see that Microsoft are pushing ahead with designing their own chip. Again, it underlines how important they see AI. You know, they're willing to put that investment in to actually build, you know, very specific chip architecture and hardware just for AI. That should tell you a lot about how important they see AI for the future. And obviously, a data center smashed full of these very specific workload API chips will do a really good job, be very performant, be able to perform, you know, massive scale AI, and give Microsoft a competitive advantage. So big week for AI. Again, it's good. It's good sometimes to just point to some examples of the things. I know I kind of sit here every week and bang on about AI being Microsoft's future, and Microsoft do as well. You know, I've pointed out that, you know, Satcher's interviews recently saying AI is the future. These are some practical implementation steps that we see Microsoft taking in the direction of AI that proves that it's not all just words, it's not all just rhetoric, it's actual action on the ground. And so I think for me that's interesting, and it's interesting to see where they go. And it's interesting to see what they can light up. I'm excited by the things they're already lighting up. Circling all the way back to that Teams blog post, you know, we're seeing them take what they know and feed it back into their products, you know, with relative speed. So yeah, that's all. It's all good news. It's all good if you like AI. All right, I'm going to go and enjoy some more of this sun. So I strongly suggest you do too. And have a great weekend. And I will speak to you again next week.